Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. It's June 10th and today I'm back with our video. Today I'm going to be talking about uh, really today's severe weather threat. The SPC has a moderate risk out, as you guys can see, for areas of North Dakota and South Dakota. And yes, let's get started with the video. So you can see we do have a moderate risk there for areas of western North Dakota down to northern South Dakota. We do even have a 10% Taurus. This is not SIG. Which means that the SPC is not really expecting any really significant tornadoes. But we do have a 10% risk, so that means that there is a great, or not a great chance, but a decent chance of tornadoes. 45 sig wind and a 45 sig hail. So that's why we have a moderate risk, because the moderate risk is for hail and wind. And we also have several marginal risks, or several other areas to watch. We have an area in North Carolina and areas of South Carolina, another one in Arkansas, down in the Mississippi. This area, by the way, has been getting a lot of rain recently, and we have some extreme flooding in some areas of southeast Arkansas and even in the Mississippi. So that's not good. And we have a marginal risk for areas, I guess, in southwest Texas, and another marginal risk up in the upper Midwest in Wisconsin and UP and Michigan. So very active day today. We can see that tomorrow. This is Friday. We have a marginal risk for areas pretty much centered right around Kansas City or Topeka. This marginal risk goes down to almost the northern side of Oklahoma City. And yes, that's what we have for tomorrow. We'll look into that a little bit as well. And then on day 3, we just have a marginal risk in Colorado, New Mexico. I'm not really going to talk about this, though. I'm really going to focus on today and tomorrow in today's video. So let's get started. So this is the latest run of the HRRR, the 17Z run. Let's go ahead and zoom into the north central U.S. We're, of course, going to focus on our moderate risk. So let's go to reflectivity here and look at what the HRRR is. So around 21Z, pretty calm look. We can take a look at dews. Dews are in the 60s, stretching up to this area. Now, it looks like we have some kind of storm system located around right here. You can kind of see. And so I would expect maybe a little bit of an enhanced tornado potential right where the SPC has that 10% risk. Let's go ahead and take a sounding at 21Z. Let's take it right here and see if it's any good. And wow, that's actually that's pretty good looking. We have plenty of shear to support tornadoes. Little cap, but that's not exactly much of a problem. Around 3,000 to 4,000 cape. That HODL looks decent as well. Overall, that's a very good sounding. Before I look at the models anymore, I do want to look at the SPC's meso-analysis. Because, yeah, we can see it does look like we do have a storm system in this area. Surface, or the low might be around, maybe a little bit lower than 1,000, or around 1,000 millibars, let's just say that. You can see dews, and we can see a decent front right here. Dews in the 60s, and 70s in front of this, and then 50s, kind of right by the low. I'd say just by looking at this area looks to be very interesting for tornadic potential. Dews in the 60s, temps in the 80s. Temps aren't really. It's not really what I want to look at, but dews are very supportive. We can let's go ahead and look at radar scope and see what we have going on right now. So it does seem like we have a few spotters out there. I do expect today to be a lot of people are going to chase today probably. No convection going on right now. This kind of shows you a lot. This is surface cape. We have a lot of it. We have 3,500 to almost around 5,000 in areas of southern North Dakota. And this kind of shows you a lot. We have a pretty stable atmosphere in this area, so that's probably helping to limit storms from going off. And I did notice, I think we have a few storms going off in this area where we have less capping. But we can see we do have capping, so that's going to help keep that a little quiet for now. But I'm expecting this area is going to get pretty active later, and we're going to have a decent tornado potential as well. kind of mixed layer cape here. Yeah, a lot of ML cap or mixed layer capping. All right. So last thing I'm gonna look at is just uh, storm relative helicity, surface of 3. And we have a lot of it right to the north of that low, or north, really to the north and northeast of that low, uh, which is really the area I want to look at for really tornadoes. This is 21Z this afternoon. The HRRR has maybe a few cells starting to go out down here. It does look like we probably still have some capping. Take a look at mixed layer CIN. Yeah, we have a lot of capping up in. Yeah, we still have a lot. We still have a pretty decent amount of capping going on. Plenty of cape indicated on the HRRR. This is the day of, so we're not really going to look at forecasted cape. What I do want to look at is service-based CIN. We can see we do have a lot of capping up to the northeast of our low. Yeah, but I do expect that the greatest tour potential today is going to be across this area. This area looks pretty interesting. Even maybe a little bit of a threat, even a threat into Canada as well. Let's go ahead and go to 23Z. This is around 6 p.m. Right to the east of our low. HRRR is our low at 993 millibars, so pretty deep. We have some storms going off from southern Canada down into pretty much South Dakota now. Now let's take a look at dews. Very moist air. This area right here looks interesting. I want to take a sounding right there. And that's let me take one right here actually. That's a little contaminated, so let me try and get a new one. Yeah, this kind of shows you what's going on. We have a little bit of capping. That's kind of a problem. But these shear profiles are very good. So definitely supportive of a 10% tour risk. I do understand why the SBC does not have that hatched. I don't think it's gonna go 10 sig. If it does, it could go 10 sig. It's not likely in my opinion, but I do think we're gonna see a pretty decent tornado threat across areas of northwestern North Dakota this afternoon into tonight. Now I want to go ahead and go back to the 12Z running the HRRR. This is a little bit of an older run, but I want to go ahead and look at tomorrow. Let's just go ahead and look at tomorrow. So 19Z on Friday, which is tomorrow. We have our surface low that's bringing the severe weather today. That is located in southern Canada. Definitely a nice front extending from that down on the way into Texas. Looking pretty good. Very moist air across the east and the southeast, or not really the east, but the south and even into the Midwest. That's going to be supportive of maybe some afternoon thunderstorms across the deep south and even into the east. But really no organized severe thunderstorms, just kind of the standard pattern for summer. But if I'm looking for an area that would likely get forecasted, or not, no, that's not what I meant to say, that would likely get organized severe storms, I'm probably going to want to look at this large front extending from Canada down into Texas. Really, this whole area looks pretty interesting. Let's take a sounding up of Minnesota, see if it's any good. Maybe you could get maybe a marginal out of that. I'll have to see what the SBC does with that, but maybe we could get an extension of the marginal risk. They could make it a little bigger. Take a sounding further to the south. Shear profiles are kind of garbage, but sounds like very interesting. Maybe supportive of a downburst type setup as well. And around 2000 Cape. Overall, that would be a marginal risk. Take a sound. Let's go ahead and go. Let's go ahead and move on a few hours. Let's go 22Z. This is around 5 p.m. Maybe some storms starting to go off in Kansas and Missouri. Take a sounding in northeastern Kansas. That is very capped. That's kind of sad. Take a sounding further to the south in southern Kansas. And once again, a little capped, but the shear profiles don't really look supportive of much of a tornado threat, but definitely large hail and some gusty winds. But we could get maybe an extension of the marginal risk further north. and maybe a little further to the south. Let's take a look at Oklahoma. I mean, maybe a little bit of a risk. Doesn't look too great though. This is what we have going on. Just a complex of storms in Kansas. A lot of storms in the southeast. Maybe we could get a marginal risk for North Carolina. We'll have to see about that. But overall, it does look like if we do get a slight risk, I'm thinking it'll probably be for this area. I don't think we're going to get or not really that area. Maybe kind of this area here. I don't know if we're going to get a slight, though. That doesn't look too likely. But I do think we might get a little bit of an extension to the marginal risk. Or maybe they might add a second marginal in. We'll have to see. But that's tomorrow. So really the next thing I want to do is I want to look at really far out. Or not really far out, but I want to look far out here and see if we could have any severe weather outbreaks soon. So let's go ahead and take a look. So let's go ahead and go to, let's take a look at Sunday. So on Sunday, this is the 13th. We have a high pressure centered around, kind of in between St. Louis and Des Moines, sorry. And maybe some breezy conditions for areas of the plains. We have a surface low, kind of a bad one. In Canada, some rain for the northeast, kind of an active thunderstorm pattern for the south and the southeast in Florida. Really, no areas look too good this day. Maybe we could get some plains action. Let's take a sounding up in Nebraska. Yeah, it's kind of terrible. Maybe a little bit of a hail threat, though. But yeah, I would expect the area we're going to want to watch for Sunday is going to be kind of the plains. It doesn't look to be anything like a severe weather outbreak at all, but definitely something in. Of course, want to watch this area for some afternoon storms along that cold front. So, yeah, let's go out to Tuesday. This is Tuesday the 15th now. Let's go back to precipitation here, and so you have a surface low across the northeast. Maybe even some kind of chilly air for areas of Michigan. Let's take a look at temps. Not really chilly, but for June, that's pretty good. 50s in areas of western New York, 60s maybe around 70 in areas of Michigan. I mean, it doesn't really the chances of this happening, just like the GFS has it, is pretty low. But maybe we could get a little bit of a cold front to come through and maybe bring some below average temperatures to areas of the Midwest and into maybe the Northeast as well, in the interior Northeast. But also, one thing you can notice here is this is Tuesday, the 15th, of course. This is around 5 days out. Look at the temps, though. We have a pretty decent little heat wave across the southeast. A lot of 90s in this area. Kind of a really interesting pattern. We have below average temperatures right here, and just to the south, we have 90s, and even GFS indicating 100s. So areas like Columbia, South Carolina, Macon, Georgia, even well into the hundreds, maybe up in Montana. Now let's see if the other models are agreeing with us. So take a look at the Euro. The Euro is agreeing with maybe a little bit of a heat wave. It's not like the GFS, though. We could see maybe some temps well into the 100s in Montana. And look at the Southwest. Very hot down there. And they need some rain. And so hopefully monsoon season this year will be a little more, I guess, better than last year's. But European doesn't go out as extreme for the South as the GFS, but still 90s across areas of Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas. Take a look at the Canadian. And the Canadian is a pretty similar thing. But it's 90s for the Southeast. Maybe closer to 100 up in Canada. Or not Canada, Montana. And a lot of 90s. So maybe it does look like as we go into mid next week, the 15th and the 16th, we're going to see some below average temperature, or a chance for some below average temperatures across the upper Midwest and into the Northeast, especially the interior Northeast. And it does look like much of the U.S. is going to be going into a heat wave I'm talking about the plains, southwest, the southeast, of course. Or not really a heat wave for the southeast. 90s in the southeast isn't really a heat wave, but definitely summer is going to be coming the middle of next week. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the heat wave that the southeast had in late May, which that was a heat wave in late May. But if that happens in June, it's really not a heat wave. But it does look like this one's going to be more widespread. We're going to see some pretty warm temps for much of the U.S. Next week. So that's going to be, we'll have to see how this, I guess, happens. But yeah, that'll wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow, or maybe Saturday. Tomorrow I'm going to be pretty busy, but I'll have to see. But yes, goodbye.